motivation for Putin's aggression against Ukraine that began in 2014 and continues to this day was not geopolitics, was not spheres of influence. It was purely and primarily domestic. He could not allow a successful democratic European experiment to occur in a country that is so close to Russia, historically, mentally, in terms of culture, religion, in terms of the language. I mean, it's when there's a successful democracy in the Baltic states, that doesn't serve as a direct example for Russia. If that happens in Ukraine, that would be a direct example for Russia. And so Mr. Putin really didn't enjoy those images of Mr. Yanukovych hastily boarding his helicopter and fleeing as hundreds of thousands of people were demonstrating on the streets of the capital. He really didn't enjoy the precedent of a corrupt authoritarian ruler forced out of power by mass protests. And not just anywhere, but in a country that is so close to Russia in so many ways. And so I think the primary motivation for Mr. Putin in his aggression against Ukraine was to prevent the success of the Maidan in Kiev before it would become a model and an inspiration for a Maidan in Moscow. What happened in Ukraine was a matter for the people of Ukraine, and they rose up against a corrupt authoritarian dictatorship. They said we had enough of it, and they said we want a different path. They said our choice is to be with Europe and integrate into Europe, and that is a matter only for them and does not concern Mr. Putin in the least, and it should not. But of course, on an even more important level, Russia itself is a European country, and a natural home for Russia is as part of Europe, potentially as part of the Euro-Atlantic Alliance. So everything that Putin has been doing in terms of defining himself and his policies in opposition and in confrontation with the West and with the rest of Europe and with NATO, it makes absolutely no sense. And again, I just think everything that Putin is doing in terms of being confrontational against our natural allies and partners in the rest of Europe goes completely against the national interest of Russia. But of course, this regime doesn't much care about the national interests of Russia. All it cares about is its own power and lining up the pockets of its operatives and oligarchs, which they have been doing for many years, stealing blind from the people of Russia and lining up their own pockets and their offshore accounts.